Tracing the twists and turns in our family tree very often involves dusty vaults, dead ends and false leads. But we all carry a key that can unlock a history long lost to us. It's our DNA. 12 New Zealanders have had their DNA tested, and that's going to help them to solve old family mysteries, uncover ancient forebears, and even find a fortune or two. Stay tuned for a fascinating ride. Hello, welcome to the DNA HQ. Following the twists in our family tree can take us back hundreds of years. And once you start searching for secrets hidden in your DNA, then the stories can lead back thousands, even tens of thousands of years. Actor Robbie and journalist Nadine Ross have submitted to a DNA test in a bid to discover what runs in their blood. And there's a tiger in this tale, and it's a real one.
Amazing to find out what I thought might have been a family myth is actually reality, but it's grim. It's so grim.
Ni hao pongyo.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
The first thing I would say to my family about this, honestly, I'd say it blew my mind. Kind of emotional, actually.
Robbie Mangasiva spent his younger years in Samoa, where his family's main form of entertainment was listening to their father tell stories. Perhaps some of them were true. We have his DNA results, and they'll help to clear up a mystery or two. But first, let's learn what Robbie knows about his ancestry.
We lived in Samoa for probably 5 years. Two of us were born here in New Zealand. The first, myself, and the second eldest, Steve. And then we came back. So did a bit of growing up in the bush. I know very little about Mum's side of the family. She's quite fair. Speaking to Dad, years of talking to Dad, and Dad can go on a little bit. He seems to think that side of the family comes from Samoan royalty. I don't know, and this is why I'm here to find out, hopefully. Apparently in Samoa, I'm royalty.
It's Robbie. Hello.
Hi,
welcome.
Richard.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Absolute
Sit down.
pleasure.
Welcome to a more gentle interrogation room than you'd find on Wentworth. now, a few questions, really.
Yep.
You were born in New Zealand, but at some stage you went back to Samoa?
Yeah, went back to Samoa when I'm guessing, around about 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, at the time, could speak English.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time I was in Samoa, I lost my English and was fluent in Samoan. And then when I came back in '82, I had to relearn English again. But yeah, time in Samoa, what I can remember of it was very simple.
I know there's one issue that you're interested in. There's that you have some questions about your mother's ancestry that you'd like to be resolved.
Yeah, because there's some of us that Mum is quite fair, you know, compared to Dad. Dad's a lot darker than Mum is. And I'm always fascinated whether there was any, I don't know, possibly European blood in her.
OK. Right, we've got some of your results, and if we look at the screen over there, we'll be able to see them. And so you have 62% Southeast Asian markers and 36 Oceania. Here's one thing that's very interesting. You are the very first person that we've ever had with 0% European DNA. So that means your mother most certainly doesn't have any German or European ancestry whatsoever. No way, not possible.
Yes!
Yes! And there's another piece of information about your mother's ancestry, but you're going to have to wait for that until you're on the road. And in the meantime, I want you to take this, and I'll be in touch with you in about 24 hours. Have a wonderful journey.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you for coming in. Well, Robbie does have royal blood, but the big surprise is how Robbie's great-great-grandfather became king, lost his crown, and then won it back again. Robbie's great-great-grandfather, King Laupepa, was his nation's second king. And our Samoan scholar, Damon Salesia, is going to fill Robbie in on his royal ancestry.
I've been given this.
Yeah, so this is Malietoa Laupepa.
Malietoa.
Who's, you know, has an incredible life and a really important political figure in Samoa.
Right.
And he's one of the leaders of one side of the Malietoa family,
Yeah.
and they come into conflict. You know, really intense and long-lasting conflict between him and his uncle to become the king. So they go to war, and Laupepa doesn't have much luck against his uncle. What happens is the empires, and there's 3 big empires in Samoa at the time, the Germans, the British, and the Americans. And in the end, the Germans actually end up supporting him being exiled. So he's actually sent up to the northern Pacific, to another German colony. And then they bring him back and he ends up king again. And so if you're connected to that, it's an absolutely powerful, fascinating, and a really Pacific moment of islanders together.
Wow. I'm actually getting goosebumps. Man, this guy looks just like my father. Because Dad did mention there was royalty that ran through our blood. And this has just confirmed it.
Robbie, King Laupepa's time in exile involved many, many months sailing with the Germans, and that seems to have spread his DNA about a bit. Now, you're going to meet your 3rd cousin, George, in rural Seattle.
Wow. All right. Seattle. Cool. Hi, doggy. Howdy. How are you? I'm great. Is George here?
I'm George.
Hey, man. Robbie, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Wow, eh?
Come on in.
Yeah, definitely.
The lab have compared Robbie and George's DNA, and they're likely to be 3rd cousins.
What did you think when you got the phone call that some weird Polynesian guy was coming over to meet you, and somehow there was that DNA connection?
I had, I guess you say, an image in my head of a Samoan rugby player.
Did you?
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife, is that I'm pretty sure he's going to probably be a Samoan guy, maybe a rugby player.
It's funny because I had quite a successful career as a rugby player. When I was playing, it was still amateur. When I left rugby, when I quit rugby, it just became professional.
Well, since we have similar genetic makeup, does that mean I could be a rugby player?
Hell yes!
Yes, I think I have the body.
We can tackle each other. Wait, that's getting weird now.
We'll tackle each other and switch shirts.
Switch shirts.
Oh, this must be an adventure for you, though. You're traveling all over to meet people who are genetically tied to you.
Thus far, what I know about my DNA is my great-great-grandfather. He was I think it might have been the second king of Samoa. His name was Laupepa.
Do you see a resemblance?
Totally, totally. Like the photo looked like my father. As soon as I saw that photo, I said, "That's Dad."
It's kind of the neat thing about DNA is it leaves breadcrumbs across your genetics to help you find out where you came from.
Yeah. So George and I were talking, and we were trying to figure out how we were 3rd cousins. Turns out his dad grew up in the Pacific, not far from where Laupepa was exiled.
My family believes that they're from Guam, but in the genetic research, the genes that are islander are coming from the Samoan Islands, down in that area.
Right.
My grandmother always thought that we were too skinny, though, which I think is kind of funny. She was always
That's a common thing.
Always trying
That's
to
a
send us
common
some
thing.
food.
Although my grandmother would tell me I'm too fat. But the common one is like, you're too skinny, you need to eat more.
Need to eat more.
Yeah.
I don't know, did your grandmother ever sniff your head?
She used to whack my head. Not sniffing, maybe that was her way of sniffing my head. You did some time in the army?
Yes. I joined the Army when I was 17. I was in the first wave into Iraq with the 101st Airborne. Yeah, it was my platoon that were the ones that got Saddam's sons, Uday and Qusay. 4-hour firefight. Yeah, usually when you kick down their door in the middle of the night and come in and grab them, they don't want to fight. Yeah. But they put up a fight.
How were you emotionally?
I was pretty messed up. So when you go through combat, you lose a friend or you see something very traumatic, you have to just stuff it down inside. And after doing that for a long time, it kind of wore me out when I got home. But
that's when you decided, is that when you decided to get out?
So I decided to grow pot. I'm a pot farmer. So I grow...
Say that again, I just want to hear it.
I'm a pot farmer. I grow legal marijuana here in Washington State. And
Say that again, I just want to hear
legal
it.
marijuana.
Just so New Zealanders can hear this. Legal marijuana Aotearoa. It was interesting, they were just so open about it. You know, even having the conversation, and there was George's 10-year-old daughter there. It's what Dad did, and I think they kind of understood.
The extracted stuff is like 98% THC, so usually one hit of that, you're hanging out with Jesus, Buddha, and Muhammad all at the same time.
I have no idea what they're talking about. We just pretend they're talking about lollies. Meeting George was really great. Opened up my eyes to my family history. Learning about Laupepa and how his genes spread through to the Pacific, and how here in America makes me think about my dad's stories and how I wished I'd listened to them. Sorry, Pops.
Hello, good to have you back. Now, for a long time, people have seen DNA testing as something that belongs to the criminal section of the nightly news. But taking a test, a simple teaspoon of saliva, is all it takes to unlock all kinds of information about our ancestors and the lands that they came from. As a business journalist on television for many years, Nadine Chalmers-Ross has explained the big stories of the day, but now it's time to delve into her own story. What will that reveal? And what does she know already? Let's find out.
I think that I might find I am a bit of a bitzer. If I was a dog, I suppose they'd call me a mongrel. I grew up hearing stories from my grandfather about growing up in India. And when I look at my father, he's very dark. I'm not sure why, but I would really like to find out that I had Indian blood in me. It seems somehow more exotic. Then on my mother's side, her maiden name is Thin. She tells me there are some links to the owner of Longleat and the Marquis of Bath. And Mum said when she lived in the UK, people automatically called her Lady Thin. I think I like the sound of that.
Nadine, come in. Sit yourself down. Make yourself at home.
Lovely to meet you.
Now, New Zealander, how many generations?
Well, my grandfather on my father's side was the first one to arrive on that side of the family.
The first one?
He was born in India, and it's my understanding so was his father and the generation before that as well.
Okay, and they were English people?
That's right.
English family living in India.
Mm-hmm.
So Grandad Bonn, B-O-N-N, that sounds German to me.
Well, it was a nickname. His name was Herbert, but he was the youngest of 3 boys, and his mother always called him her Bonnie baby. And it stuck. He was Bon for the rest of his life.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a story about Grandad Bonn, isn't there, that he used to tell about a pussycat?
A rather large pussycat. He used to tell me the story of a tiger that killed his grandfather, so my great-grandfather.
How extraordinary.
Yeah, and I don't know much more about the story than that, but I've always been told it.
Now, you want to know more about your background and the various strains of your family, from where they've come, and we're going to look at some of the results we've got over here on the screen. Right, the map shows that 95% are European. Most of that's from the UK and Ireland, but there are traces of Scandinavian, French and German, and a minuscule amount of Ashkenazi Jewish markers. Now, you were hoping to find an Indian connection. We can see that you've got 5% South Asian markers. So given your family history, we're fairly confident that this represents your Indian connection and family.
So it's true.
Now, that doesn't mean to say that the tiger story is true, but it could be. I'm going to give you this little device here, which I want you to keep about your person, and I shall be in touch within the next 24 hours to give you further instructions. In the meantime, bon voyage. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Richard.
Now, mind the door, it sticks a bit on your way out. Well, you'll manage, I'm sure. Oh, there we go. Well, Nadine has a great reputation as a news hound, but she's also sitting on an epic tale which is about to get her the scoop of her life. Nadine, we've found a photo that we'd like you to have a look at. Now, this man is your great-great-uncle, Clan Duncan Ross. Now, I want you to take this photo to London, where we've arranged for you to meet another of Clan Duncan's relatives. And he holds the key to some very, very interesting family tales.
Wow. So the Ross family is leading me to London. It's kind of eerie. This guy looks just like my dad. Strong family resemblance.
No time for sightseeing, Nadine. We've arranged for you to meet a DNA relative in that favourite of British meeting places, the local pub.
I actually feel a little bit nervous. This is unusual for me, but maybe even a bit shy. And that's weird, because they're family, right? They have to like me.
Head to the Lamb on Holloway Road, where Michael and Casey are waiting to tell you tales of your colonial Indian past.
I feel like I should give you a cuddle. We're family, really, aren't we? Hello.
Hello.
Michael is a relative, but it's his wife, Casey, who's been digging around the family tree and discovering wealthy Indian roots.
So I've been shown this picture of Clan Duncan. How does he make me related to you?
Clan Duncan is my great-great-grandfather, and he's the brother of your great-grandfather.
Wow, I can really see the likeness to my father. It's quite striking, given that that's his... It would be his great-uncle. I want to show you some photos of my dad. This is in profile, so it's a little harder to see.
Amazing, yeah. There's a lot of similarity there.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
It's sort of...
Quite scary.
And I'll show you my grandfather. He passed away 2 years ago, but that was not long before he died. But I still see it in the cheekbones.
Absolutely, the cheekbones are there, definitely.
Yeah.
Bond's father was a man named James George, and Clan Duncan was his brother. But Casey has uncovered even more relatives.
The first Ross we really know a bit about is the Clan Duncan and James George father, whose name was Duncan Hamilton. And Duncan Hamilton was born in 1840. So probably, as you know, you are partially Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah. What my theory is that Duncan Hamilton's mother, Anne, was Indian.
It's fascinating because people have long asked me what my ethnic makeup was, and I've never been able to answer it definitively. So now I feel like I can say that I am part Indian, even if it's only a small amount. I feel like I've answered that question, and the rest of my family, for them as well. I can go back and say I've got some answers.
Duncan Hamilton most likely was half Indian. And he was the first Ross we actually know about. We know that he had an indigo plantation. Just to kind of show you how affluent that family was, the oldest sister, she married a British baronet. She was really affluent, and they mixed with Maharajas, Indian Maharajas at the time.
But I mean, they're quite affluent. They were part of the Raj. They really lived the life of Riley.
You can see pictures of their daily life. They went polo playing polo in Jaipur, elephant being bathed.
They go on hunting trips with the elephants and stuff.
Yeah. So on the beach, sunbathing, that's them on a day out, just enjoying their life. It was quite an amazing lifestyle.
So, Nadine, you and Michael share a great-great-grandfather, Duncan Hamilton Ross. And to find out more about Duncan and your family's life in India, you're going to have to travel to Kolkata. Actor Robbie has discovered royalty runs in his blood.
Yeah, so this is Malietoa Laupepa.
He's now in China, uncovering his mother's DNA connections to a famous dynasty.
Can't believe I'm in China. What part of me is Chinese? Probably explains why I like Chinese food.
Hello, good morning, Robbie. 1% of your DNA shows Chinese markers. Your test reveals that your mother's haplogroup has links to the Han dynasty, and you're about to get a cultural crash course from John in an ancient Han village.
You must be John?
Yeah.
Hi, John.
你好朋友
Ni hao pongyo.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
This village, what's it called? And tell me a little bit of history about it.
The village called 川底下.
20 sha.
Very clear. Just like Chinese said. Good.
Oh, I am 1%.
Yeah.
Let's have a look around.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, 20 sha.
20 下. Yeah.
20 sha. How do I say in Chinese, how do I say my name is Robbie?
Okay.
I'm from New Zealand.
So, my name is Robbie. 我是
我是
罗比.
Robbie.
Yeah. Robbie, we don't say Robbie, we say 罗比.
Robbie.
Yeah.
我是
我是罗比.
Robbie.
我是 I am. 我是
我是 Robbie. 我是
新西兰人.
新西兰人.
新西兰人. I'm from New Zealand.
新西兰人.
Good. 新西兰, that's your country name.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Right.
New Zealand, 新西兰. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 我是
Robbie.
Then, 我是新西兰人.
我是 Robbie. 我是新西兰人.
很好.
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 Means that very good. You did a good job. So your Chinese is getting better.
谢谢兰人. No. 谢谢 Robbie. 谢谢.
我是
我是. Oh, 我是.
Yeah, I am. 我是
Robbie.
Yep.
我是谢谢兰人.
Great. You learn very fast.
你好，大爷. John, can you tell me a little bit more about the Han Dynasty?
Han family was here around 700 years.
Yeah.
And so this family came here long time and they keep to continue the family. So now a lot of Han family here.
There's no way in the world that I would ever have come or stepped foot on those paths if it wasn't for this. And to discover that, that my DNA was from the Han Dynasty, and then that 1% Chinese that I have in me, it's quite awesome. I kind of like that. 我是皇帝.
Great.
Yeah?
You did great. 我是皇帝. I'm the emperor.
Robbie, this 600-year-old village requires a lot of manpower to keep it in shape, so you've hit town at the right time because there's a restoration project underway that could really do with a big, strapping lad like yourself.
Hey! What I'm doing here is attacking a 600-year-old building. Just for your information, New Zealand. 600. Although this bit here doesn't seem like a 600, this looks like it's a recent thing. I can tell by the texture. See that? Now, if it was more than 600, I'd say probably 40 years ago that was put in there. Sheshe. Good night. Those workers, their faces were amazing. Just the contours, the lines, just from being out in the sun every day. Because their faces told a story. As corny as that may sound, you could tell those guys worked their asses off. And they were really friendly.
Journalist Nadine Chalmers-Ross has had her suspicions about her Indian heritage confirmed.
People have long asked me what my ethnic makeup was, so now I feel like I can say that I am part Indian.
Our research has proved that Nadine's great-great-grandfather's mother was Indian and a native of Kolkata. The Ross family were of British colonial stock. They lived in India from the early 1800s, and so we've sent Nadine to Kolkata to get a feel for the place that her family once called home. Namaste, Nadine. We've discovered that your great-great-grandfather, Duncan Hamilton Ross, took a young bride from an orphanage. Her name was Addie. You might like to take a peek at their marriage certificate.
So, the 21st of May, 1860, Duncan Hamilton Ross marries Annie Victoria Wilkinson. Has Duncan Hamilton Ross at 19, listed as a bachelor, Annie Wilkinson, 14. One thing that doesn't seem clear to me is why Duncan Hamilton Ross goes sort of shopping for a bride at an orphanage. And I guess maybe it was the done thing to marry someone young, but why someone in such a vulnerable position? It just seems like an odd concept.
Nadine, it's fair to question how your great-great-grandfather found his bride, but this type of match wasn't uncommon in the times of the Raj. Life was harsh, so romance wasn't necessarily a priority. And when Duncan did find Annie, he made a wonderful gesture of adopting her younger sister Mary so that they could stay together. And we've arranged for you to visit an orphanage to gain some perspective on Annie and Mary's early life.
Oh, I set that one up for you. Oh, you missed it.
From what I've read, the conditions around the time that Mary and Annie would have been in the orphanage were awful. I don't think you can understate how hard life would have been.
Do I look like I could be Indian, like you?
Yes.
Because my ancestors were Indian, and they lived in Calcutta.
I think that there would have been an intense feeling of being forgotten.
So my great-great-grandma used to be in a school like this one. So I came to see what it was like. How long have you been here?
About 3 years.
3 years? Yeah. Watching these kids, it just makes you think how young Annie and Mary must have been. So young. But also that they must have been fighters. And I guess that's the thing, is the women in my history, they were made of tough stuff.
But that's not the end of Annie and Mary's story, because we've found documents that reveal a very unusual love triangle in your family.
So, 1904, at the age of 57, Annie dies from cancer. And then later, the same year, Duncan marries her younger sister, Mary. Isn't that odd?
Well, what actually sounds like a scandal is, in fact, a very complicated love story. Annie was a minx who ran off with possibly a wealthier man and left Mary to raise her infant son. Mary and Duncan went on to fall in love, and although they couldn't marry until Annie's death, they managed to have 8 children together. Oh, yes. One of whom was your great-great-grandfather, James George Ross.
This is not the kind of stuff I was expecting to find. I thought that I'd find ancestors, but not the kind of twists and turns that their lives took. It is a bit dramatic, and there's also a lot of heartbreak, which I guess I wasn't really expecting to find.
Actor Robert Mangasivas discovered that his mother's DNA has links to ancient China.
Ni hao, dai.
And he's got even more of a history lesson on the way. He's bound for Taiwan to explore his ancient Polynesian roots. Well, Robbie, as you know, DNA evidence has proved beyond any doubt that Polynesian migration through all the Pacific Islands originated in the East. And it's time for you to get a taste of Taiwanese life so that you can see how similar these cultures are.
Can you just ask if it's okay if I get in there and wash the watercress? I can wash the fish for her. I'm just going to wash the watercress, yeah. The traditional way the Taiwanese cooked, it reminded me more of doing a umu than anything else. I'll do it for you. This is how we do it back home. So you just want to evenly spread your fingers through the watercress like this. Just got to taste it, see if it's clean. No, it needs a little bit more. There you go. Another test, see if it's clean. Yep, no, it's ready to go. There we go.
Robbie.
Yeah, yeah.
来切片，这样。
Oh, okay.
哎，然后这样呢，切。
Thin. Okay then. Cool. When I was growing up in Samoa, there was nothing there. So when we first got there, it was just basic living. I think it was just almost like a shed that we lived in. Good?
They're good.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, got you. There was no electricity. It hadn't come as far as where we were. And the cooking, Mum would be cooking outside on a fire. So it was very basic. And I think I'm thankful for that. I learned to appreciate a lot of things now. I think mainly due to that upbringing. Is it ready? Yeah, that's good.
Oof, oof. Oh my God.
That is nice. That is awesome.
Journalist Nadine Chalmers-Ross's DNA journey has taken her to an orphanage in Kolkata.
My great-great-grandma used to be in a school like this one.
She's discovered her great-great-grandparents were Duncan Hamilton and Mary Ross.
Duncan Hamilton looks like quite the refined English gentleman, really. But when I look at Mary, I just think, even though it's black and white, you feel like you can see the colour in her. I feel like she looks like an elderly Indian woman. And Mary looks like she lived to, relatively ripe old age. So maybe there's longevity in the genes.
Good morning, Nadine. Your great-great-grandmother, Mary, had a rough start growing up in an orphanage, but she and her husband built an empire and lived lavishly. In 1880, they left Kolkata and established an indigo plantation. Now, you really need to see what this would have been like, so believe it or not, your next stop is an old plantation. Indigo was a very popular clothes dye in the 1800s, and it came from a plant with the very same name. Those that farmed it made quite a bit of money.
I'm trying to build a picture in my mind of what my ancestors might have lived like. Is it reasonable to think that, a grand place like this would have been how they lived?
Absolutely. They lived fairly lavish lives.
So my ancestors, who were indigo plantation owners, would have had a grand house and lots of domestic help, that sort of thing?
Yes. In fact, at the southern end, the southwestern end of this property was a tennis court, and each child would have an ayah.
So like a governess or a nanny or something?
Nanny, like a nanny. Yes, they would have people who, served food. So they would wear a turban and a towel on their arm.
So very formal.
Yes, very formal affair, very formal. This is Indigo ferra tinctoria, the plant that actually made the British rich. And it eventually got known as the devil's dye. The laborers, the peasants, the farmers, they were forced to grow indigo.
Did that make them angry?
It eventually got them angry because that's what you just can't eat indigo. So the peasants actually revolted in many ways. They had the stick, and they had axes, they had machetes, they had spears, and quite a few British were actually killed. I believe your great-great-grandmother even learned how to use a gun and, to protect herself.
It's amazing to look at it. It's just this pretty little ferny, flower that it caused such ructions.
That's right. That's right. Can you believe that this little plant could create such opulence as well as create such hatred in a matter of about 100 years?
So had it not been for that, I could have been an heiress.
You could have been.
What a shame.
And had I been younger, I would have met you.
The English living opulent lives while their workers were peasants and paupers troubles me a little bit. I wonder if they were aware that they had Indian blood in them. And I wonder if they treated the Indians any better as a result. I'd like to think so. I'd hate to think that any of my relatives were the ones who were causing the poor to starve, but it's possible. I do think, though, from what I worked out about Duncan, it did seem like he had sympathies with the Indians, because actually you're one of them.
Journalist Nadine Chalmers-Ross is in Bengal, where she's learned her family were once wealthy plantation owners. And she's also about to learn the truth about her family's story. Hello, Nadine. Your grandfather, Bon, has regaled you with stories of a death by tiger in the family. Now, what exactly can you recall of that very tall tale?
I have heard a story about a tiger. I don't know how much of it is true, but I was told that my great-great-grandfather was killed by a tiger. But I don't know much more than that.
Well, we have uncovered some gritty details. Your grandfather, Bon, was, in fact, talking about his grandfather, Walter, who also lived in India. Now, Walter had a reputation as a skilled hunter. And when a tiger was making mischief in a neighbouring village, Walter was called upon to remedy the situation. Walter and his men stalked the tiger for 11 miles, and once they were within range, Walter took his shot. He only wounded the beast, and he followed the blood trail to discover the animal concealed in the undergrowth. And as Walter approached, the wounded tiger leapt at him, clawing him in the back of the head. Walter continued to battle the beast, and the tiger was shot dead. And Walter, he turned for home, and he stumbled for 2 miles before collapsing from blood loss. And he went to meet his maker.
It's such a phenomenal story. Amazing to find out what I thought might have been a family myth is actually reality, but it's grim. It's so grim.
I decided to get my DNA tested purely because I was curious, and I've been told so many stories over the years that I wasn't really sure which of them were true and which might have been embellished or changed through the generations, like Chinese whispers, and I thought the science can't lie, right? And I wanted to answer that question that I've always wondered about. Do I have Indian blood in me? And my granddad's not around to answer a lot of the questions that I had anymore. And no one else seemed to know the answers. So coming here to India, seeing some of the things he would have seen, made me feel quite connected to him, and I think he would have liked that I was curious to find out where he came from and where I come from.
Robbie Mangasiva has discovered his mother's DNA had links with an ancient Chinese dynasty, and he's also learned that his family connects to Samoan royalty. But that's the end of the royal tour, because now he's in Taiwan looking into the links that Polynesians have with the East.
James.
Yeah, I'm James.
Oh, g'day, James.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. I'm Robbie.
Robbie.
Nice to meet
James.
you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. And this is 14.
Hi, 14.
14.
Hey, how are you?
The host.
Nice to meet you, Robbie. It's not the number 14?
No. It means, in Army's language, it means fish.
Ah.
Yeah, so 14 is fish.
Is he a good fisherman?
Yeah, he's good at fishing.
Right. Thank you for inviting me. The interesting thing that I'm seeing so far, and I don't know if it means anything, is these patterns. These patterns here, these things here, they're the same as my tattoo.
Oh.
It's like here, see?
Yeah, similar.
Because it's interesting, I come from the other side of the world.
Yes.
To another tribe where somehow we've got a DNA connection, and I'm seeing this is similar to what I've got here, and we don't know each other.
譬如说像那个数字的话，只在、多少、多少、18。
Is he counting?
Yeah, he's counting numbers.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is in Samoan. Tasi, lua, tolu, fa, lima, ono, fitu, valu, iwa se fulu. The similarity, eh? Never in my wildest dream did I ever think a culture in Taiwan, would the language be similar? You know, when we were counting, I was like, wow. It's that thing of where my DNA started from, you know, that whole journey. We're brothers. Oh, brother. Yeah, my brother.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? Good? Hi. Good. Bye. To summarize this trip, I'd say it's been an eye-opener. Discovering that I had links in Seattle and also been in Taiwan. What the hey? I loved it. I loved it in Taiwan. You know, and in the cultural group, a certain beat to their music that was very similar to the old Samoan pop song. It's funny because as soon as I saw it, I know that beat. I know that. It reminded me also of the uncles and aunties after a few drinks. You know, no means yes. And just dragging you up there and just going for it. It was very similar. The first thing I would say to my family about this, honestly, without going too much into it, I'd say it blew my mind. I found out a lot more about my history and my DNA and my family than I ever have. I've absolutely loved it. And I've still got more to find out, and I'm excited about new discovery. But it's been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Our DNA contains tiny hints that tell us how our forebears traveled. It shows us where to look, to uncover traces of their lives and the stories we find to help bring them back to life. I wonder who's going to be brave enough to take the test next week. Why don't you join me to find out?